crazy, right? Like, we couldn't believe it. The website had so much traffic going to it that it actually crashed the website. Pennsylvania shut down their liquor stores, etc. So it was absolutely wild. And what we found were some of these quieter brands. We started a tequila company. A lot of people don't know Liquor House is a 100% owner of a brand called Swall Tequila.
Oh.
And we started with a whole campaign around it,
I've heard that.
being mystery tequila.
And tequila has been very hot in the last 12 months, right?
Yeah, if you look at some of the comparisons out there, like Casamigos, et cetera, their valuations are through the roof.
Sure.
And then we created this product that nobody even knew about through a Black Friday to a Cyber Monday holiday. We literally sold 10,000 bottles through a weekend.
So when you talk about digital marketing and brand development, you also need advertising and things like that. Is that part of it as well, or not so much?
Not so much. Like, the big part for us is really having that relationship with CW Spirits. Liquor House, at the end of the day, now controls for 10 years where a bottle is placed on the website, how a signature looks when customer service sends things out. So again, we can take a brand that nobody's even heard of and get it millions of views overnight.
What have been some of the more you mentioned the Swall Tequila. What are some of the other names that have been doing well for you?
So a great example is this company called Cocktail Caviar. We started with them about a year ago, and they were on Total Wine Shelf, which I don't know if you've ever been into Total Wines, but they do billions in revenue a year. And it was literally collecting dust. And they signed up with us. We sold out of every single bottle they've had in the U.S., and they had to ramp up production.
I'd love to hear a little more about your relationship with Ryan Cohen, who people know well, of course, from Chewy, from GameStop. I mean, you know, an activist, an entrepreneur. How are you friendly, or how do you work together, if at all?
Yeah, no, he's an absolute genius, as a lot of people know out there, and actually learned a ton from him when he was just 15 years old. We started 3.coms together.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And
how did you know each other? From school or
no,
neighborhood?
We both grew up in Montreal.
I see.
And, you know, he went into Chewy.com, and I started Namaste Technologies, which was the third largest cannabis company in the world. Went from $0 to $1.5 billion in a year and a half.
Oh my God, two very entrepreneurial best friends from teenager years. At this point now, tell me about the balance sheet and how it all works. I mean, what are you hoping to achieve? What's on the agenda? You know, cash flow, profitability, the things that the shareholders are going to want to know more about. I know you're not going to get to dividends yet, but tell me more so that the shareholders can learn more, or if somebody is interested in buying some stock.
Well, something really interesting that my business partner who started this all with us, he said people love alcohol, right? Good times, bad times, great times, etc. So we think that it's an incredible industry, no matter what. It's super resilient out there. And really after this, there was an over-allotment on the raise today. So super high demand, even in, as you know, the markets haven't been phenomenal, you know, especially
Today's a tough day, too, because we've had some back and forth action. It's been a tough week. Go ahead.
Yeah, so started off really strong, and, you know, again, LQR, super thankful for our ticker.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You know, so we'll be at about $4.5 billion cash on the balance sheet from day one. Absolutely no debt.
Right.
Profitability,
No debt.
hopefully around the corner, and it allows us to strategically align ourselves with brands that we see that we could really get trending and bring to the top.
Well, the no debt part is a big part of it, because then you don't have to you know, worry about as much financing and things like that. So you have CW Spirits. Are you hoping to make any acquisitions, or ways maybe you can grow through acquisitions rather than just organically?
Yeah, the biggest part is if we snap in our whole marketing piece into a distribution company. So we have our eyes on perhaps some distribution companies in the future, and then by acquiring that, then we could start creating this liquor house of brands, and control not only getting the marketing dollars, but also get recurring revenue as the product sells off the shelf.
I mean, people are often interested in ratings on alcohol, right? You know, I'll drink the most popular brands because that's just sort of what I know, but I think a lot of people love to experiment with new names, and that goes right into your wheelhouse, and sometimes they get a better price point. You know, I'm willing to bet that Swall Tequila is probably less expensive than Clase Azul.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
So, but that doesn't mean that it's better or worse or whatever. How do you handle to explain to people what
find
it
some
is,
support
how
here.
it's made, how popular it is, what people,
kind of be the
like about it?
decider, I think, for end of day.
Or anything like that? that?
I think the most important thing is bringing products that are actually good. Because if people start coming to the website and Liquor House keeps bringing on these new brands, but every time you try a product, it doesn't taste great.
Yeah.
No matter what people say, that wouldn't be a great thing.
So if you have 500 brands, you said 500 brands?
500 influencers. We currently have 30 brands that we work with.
So the influencers are key.
Absolutely.
How do they make money? Do they make money?
So they actually, we don't need to pay anything out at Liquor House, which makes...
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm starting to get nervous. Yeah.
And then they make a referral fee by sending the traffic to cwspirits.com.
Okay. So that's good. So, and you'll just if you have enough influencers and more brands coming your way, sounds like a winning recipe. And, you know, and you have Ryan Cohen, who you two can talk plenty about some of the ideas. All right, Sean, nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for having us on.
And thanks for coming here in person. Appreciate that. Sean Dollinger, CEO of LQR House, Liquor House.
Wonder if his stock will get some retail hype because of that.
A closer look at commodities. The trend.
He's much. At this point, he is the tightest acquaintance to Ryan Cohen in the stock market that we know of. Tighter than Zugov, tighter than Carl Icahn, I mean, as far as we know. Tighter than Adam Aaron.